Another episode of Contemplations. Today I thought I'd read from my favorite author, Rumi, and I know that many of you like his work as well. But I think it's really useful to ponder some of the things he says and to understand the deeper meaning behind his words. It's not just pure, beautiful poetry, but it's something that has a great message that is relevant for all of us. So today I'm reading from his book, Gardens of the Beloved, and I encourage you to read it if you haven't got a copy yet. So here he writes, indulging in our pride, we keep chasing after every fleeting image. Let me read that again. Indulging in our pride, we keep chasing after every fleeting image. How strange that being nothing, we cultivate such grand illusions. How strange that being nothing, we cultivate such grand illusions. Let's take a moment to contemplate that. Being nothing. What does that mean? I don't think any of us feels that we are nothing. In fact, if someone told you you're nothing, you're insignificant, you are not good enough, you're small, we would feel very disturbed by such a statement. But the truth is that we are a tiny little speck in the universe, like tiny, like atomic, like truly, truly, truly insignificant. And yet, due to our ego, our pride, our minds, we think we need significance. We think we need to be something, achieve something. I was asked that when I was a kid. What do you want to be? Who are you going to become? Were you asked such questions? And I struggled with that because I could see that people who had achieved a lot, and many of my family members seemed to be, quite wealthy, and they seemed to have achieved a lot. And I could see that it was pointless. We were all going to die and leave it all behind. I could also see the insignificance of who we are in this cosmos. We felt so tiny, so small. And I wondered, what was the point of chasing all of this grandeur and wealth and fame and power, and of trying to become something when in fact we're so insignificant? Now I know that my ego, and yours perhaps, wants significance. I know that my mind wants to feel relevant, wants to feel like I've done something in this world, I contributed something, I mattered. And ultimately, we all know that there comes a time when we shall cease to be. No matter what you did, no matter how much you mattered, you're history, you're gone. So I know this sounds morbid, but I think it sets the stage for us to contemplate life. Someone said that our mortality is our greatest gift. It is the thing that helps us understand life. It shows us how to live. So allow me to weave the thread as we go along. The fact that we only have a few years to live, the fact that we have a mortal existence and we're only here for a short time, helps us understand a few things. At least it's helped me understand a few things, let me say. What I have learned is the futility of chasing the dream, the American dream or the whatever country's dream you're living in. It's a dream. And like all dreams, it is ephemeral. When we wake up, it's gone, right? And the same thing applies to all the efforts we spend in our life to try to achieve, to become, to be significant. In the end, it's gone. In the end, we die. We leave it all behind. So then what's the point? Do we just continue to live mediocre lives? Do we continue to just struggle for existence and just, for paying the bills? And is that a life worth living either? Absolutely not. So it's strange that at both ends of the spectrum, or even in the middle of the spectrum, it doesn't seem to make any sense. uh, how should we live? I mean, you hear all these people now wanting to be, to have the law of attraction, to attract great abundance and great wealth to themselves. I'm not saying that either thing is bad. To have everything, to have nothing, to be somewhere in the middle and just getting by. I'm not saying any of that is either good or bad. What I am saying is, let's take a look at our pride. That's what Rumi's pointing out here when he says, indulging in our pride, we keep chasing every fleeting image. I think that the biggest image of all is our own self image. We're trying to create a self image. And then in the process, we look at all the advertising and we look at all the things that we can have and be and do. And then we struggle to have that as part of our image. But if we would let go of that, instead of trying to be something, have something, do something, if we would just stop and rest in the peace of who we are, if we would just stop and rest in peace, because resting in peace is what we tell people when they die. If we would live in that same way, resting in the peace of who we are, then perhaps we would stop chasing every fleeting image. Perhaps we would stop indulging our pride, our arrogance, our ego that wants to be significant, and we would recognize that I am significant as I am. I, the self, me, the being, the soul that rests within here, is significant as it is. Well, then what to do about all the financial stuff? Should I have a lot? Should I not have a lot? Should I just kind of like, um, get by? And where's the solution to the riddle? I think that before we contemplate things like law of attraction, trying to have a lot of stuff and falling for the American dream or any other dream, before we try to visualize and create and have all that, let's stop and see why we're doing that. And once we've eliminated the why, we've got down to the why, it might be more so. See, yes, one part of the why is, yeah, we need a better quality of life. We've got to be able to pay our bills. Don't want to be struggling and living hand to mouth. We certainly don't want to retire without having any source of income. These are genuine concerns that we all have. But beyond that, they've shown that a person is happy only to the point where their basic needs are met. A certain level of income. At some point they said $25,000 a year, and some point they said 70,000. Whatever that is, but beyond that, the happiness level didn't increase much. Those were all the studies that were taken. So if that's the case, and if we see the impermanence of life, what should we be really pursuing? What should we be trying to attract into our lives? Is it just an abundance of wealth? I have nothing against having the wealth. It's great. If it comes your way, it comes your way. But how about if we would focus on an abundance of love, an abundance of giving, an abundance of sharing, an abundance of experiencing and living and going and experiencing the joyous things that this world has to offer us. And I thank you for joining me here, Cindy. Thank you for being here. It's wonderful to have you folks come in. If you are watching, please say hi, make a comment, say something to tell me what you're thinking, what you feel about the things I'm saying. I don't assume that I'm right. I could be totally off, totally wacko, but that's fine with me. What I want to be able to do is start the dialogue and get us thinking, get us talking, because we live in a world where we are told what to think. We just get on YouTube and we start watching stuff, and I'm guilty of it as well. And then we're bombarded with other people's opinions. So I don't want this to be about my opinion versus, I want to get contemplation happening with you, so that you may think, so that you may question, so that you may challenge, so that you may come up and say, hey, it's true, but here's something further, or here it's wrong and here's something further. Add to the dialogue. Tell me more about what you think. Most important, I think, is that I want to hear from you. So yeah, let's continue. Yes, having a good life is important, is significant, it matters. At the same time, can we not start focusing on the things that really matter. And the first thing that really matters is to take care of ourselves, to really take care of ourselves. I mean, to nurture ourselves, to be really, truly thoughtful about the things we think about, the things we devote our time to, and then the people we're with, and to have really thoughtful, caring, loving interactions with the people we're with. We can't make a better world unless we have better people in it. And that starts with yourself. And then that starts with the interactions we have with each other. So what if we were to become, rather to focus on attracting more loving people in our lives, to being more loving in ourselves? What if we were to really uh, use the law of attraction? I'm not saying that it's not valid. I'm simply saying that can we question why we want to have all the stuff that we think we want to have, and instead focus on having a better quality of being and a better quality of living and loving. What do you think? Certainly if wealth came your way, embrace it. I don't think anything is good or bad or right or wrong. But I'm just saying the energy we have, the time we have, let's use that to cultivate a better life. And if you have something you want to say, please let me know in the comments. Uh, Please join me anytime you see me live. I'm trying to do this every weekday. And the only way I'm going to do that is with your inspiration. So I hope you will join me, comment, tell me what you think. And it's you that's going to keep this alive if it matters to you. So I'm just here to be the messenger. And if you have questions, you have thoughts, you have doubts, disagreements, they're all welcome. I am no authority on anything. I come from the basic premise that I know nothing. And it is in not knowing that I learn so much more. I love the quote by Socrates where he says, "To know that you do not know is the greatest step to knowledge." To know that you do not know is the greatest step to knowledge. Think about it. And let's take a look here. Cindy writes, "Love, peace, and joy at all levels is the greater reality." I totally agree with you, Cindy. Thanks for sharing that. And where that love, peace, and joy comes from, I think needs to be the object of our pursuit. The object of what we desire is to find that love, peace, and joy within ourselves and wherever we can get it. So I think if we can focus on spreading that instead of spreading all the political stuff and spreading all the uh, debate and argument and fight, it doesn't really make a difference who's right and who's wrong. Hey, Martin, welcome. Thanks for being there, brother. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, I think it's just wonderful for us to all work together and create a community of people who are really thoughtful and caring and loving. At the same time, be able to um, focus on a higher standard of living than just being swept in with these fantastic dreams of becoming multimillionaires or this or that. If it happens, it happens. Great, lovely. But I personally, at least this is my commitment to myself, I would rather focus on a better quality of life, being more loving and nurturing to myself and others, being more caring and hearing each other, really, really tuning into each other and into ourselves and to the world, and caring about everything from the environment. But no matter ultimately how much wealth or abundance or riches we have, you can't take it with you. You can't take any of it with you. And you will leave as you came, empty handed. So let's balance our thinking out on that, so that we can have, be, and do in a better way. I love hearing from you. Please don't hesitate to comment or ask questions. Please know that I'm open to all of that. I will read all your comments. This live cast is going out on YouTube, on Facebook, um, and everywhere. So wherever you are, please know that you're welcome to always bring in your inputs. I love you, and I'm here for you, and I look forward to all your interactions. Take care, and see you in the next one.